All right, this hangout on air is live. Let's see. Aren't you doing the thing? Do the thing. All right. Yes, and my video is muted and all of that fun stuff. Hello, everyone. Hi.
Apparently, Natalie Portman is doing a masterclass. I just got the advertisement popping up.
I mean, as she should.
I just got the ad. I was waiting to see you pop up. It wouldn't let me click on it. It was like, it was doing the second countdown.
Oh, I gotcha. All right. Hey, Nicole, Danielle, Lisa, Stacy, and Rebecca. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
I was going to say, we already have a thumbs up. We haven't even said anything yet. We got a thumbs up.
Woo. Hey, Lou, Melanie. Letting everybody get in and say hi and all of that fun stuff. I'm doing pretty good. What about you, Angela? How you doing?
I'm fine. I have my tea here, so I got my little caffeine jolt, so I'm happy.
Very nice. I was a loser and did not get myself a drink. And then, of course, Aaron's out Pokemoning, and so I'm like, I'm just SOL. Oh, thank you for my earrings. I got them in Nebraska this past weekend. I was just telling Angela how I went up with my future mother-in-law to see her family, and they had these at a farmer's market. These are wood, and this is like leather. It doesn't even feel like I have anything in my ears. It's pretty fantastic.
Really? That's my biggest thing about big earrings is usually I feel them after a certain point. I didn't realize how big they were. I bought something on Nordstrom and they kind of hang down that low, but they're heavy. So I'm like, that's perfect.
No, she had this whole entire stall full of these leather and wooden earrings. And some of them were pretty big, but they were so flippin' light. I was like, oh, these are fantastic. I got another one that's sort of like a maroon color, like my watch, and they're awesome.
I love how you're like, I found a hidden gem and it was perfect.
Yes, no, it was wonderful. Oh, hey, Latasha and Priscilla and Lady Gizmo.
Well, if you didn't finish the book, I'm sorry. I hope you enjoy it or you enjoy the parts that you got to.
Yes, I hope that you have been enjoying it a lot. And just so you know, this will be on my channel to watch whenever you have finished it. If you want to go back and see how everybody thought it was and all of that fun stuff. Don't want spoilers. I totally understand.
I was going to say, I'm curious. I posted this over on the Twitter earlier. So I asked people what their star ratings were. So I'm curious to see what everyone thought of the book.
Yeah, if you want to enter some of your star ratings in the comments too, we can totally do that.
So according to our Twitter, 56% of people, the winning vote is for 4 stars, followed by 22% for both 5 and 3 stars. So everybody seems to have enjoyed this book for the most part. Nobody gave it 2 or 1 star, so nobody seemed to have been, down on it.
Yeah, next to the yes. So for those, we are talking about A Dark and Stormy Murder by Julia Buckley. And she also said on Twitter that if you guys have any questions, any burning questions or anything like that, if you want to put them in the chat, I don't know if she's actually going to be in the chat or if she wants me to show her the questions later. She just commented on one of my tweets. So she said that if you had any questions, she'd be happy to answer them as well. Wow, look at all those stars.
I know, the mansion, I feel as if that was its kind of own character. When you say the mansion setting. I mean, I also love that they put it on the cover. I mean, yeah, it gives me a good sense of what's going on.
And you can really, really get the vibe she was feeling when she drove in. I really, really liked that. And I love how the 2 dogs are on the front page, and then so's the kitty cat. And
I think I appreciated the cover after having read it, because beforehand I'm just thinking, oh, it's a pretty cover. But then I look at the cover, I'm going, oh, you have all the details, you have the car, you have, I mean, like you have everything. You even have the little porch that she was talking about. It was just,
yeah,
I have some appreciation for this.
I agree. I really, really understood it a lot more whenever I got done reading the book. Ooh, Lisa, I totally felt as though I was staying in the mansion as well. Like, it was so well written that it felt real. Especially whenever she would like go out in the middle of the night to check out those noises. I really liked that.
I want to read the Salisbury Train too. It was almost like you had a book within a book, and I'm going, yes, but now you gotta write that book. It's like Fangirl, how she did Carry On snippets,
yes,
chapters, and she wrote Carry On. This needs to be a new book now.
I totally agree, because I want to know like what happened with that couple and like why they were running away in the yacht and all of that stuff. I do have the rest of the series on my cozy mystery wish list on Amazon. Like, Aaron told me that it wasn't fair because my birthday's coming up in July. And so he was like, I don't know what books to buy you. I know you need books. He goes, but I don't know which ones to buy you. So you have to make a list. And so I started making a cozy mystery Amazon wish list.
I love how he knows you, though. He's like, yes, she needs the books. Just tell me the titles and I will make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, all right. And so I shared it. I was like, there you go. You can go crazy.
I know. We need to start a petition to get her to actually write that book within a book.
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing. Her saucy attitude was when she was assessing the town. She said, woman, warm and friendly, men, dismissive and rude. I can totally see me rolling through town, sizing everyone up. 100%. I liked that she was very, very saucy in that element as well. And it just cracked me up. I really liked her as a character. I thought that she did enough fangirling, but also was just like really, really sweet. And I loved her dynamic with Camilla. Like, I really loved their friendship, that it came to be. It was really awesome.
I second that. I think when the book started, okay, so I don't want to, little mini spoilers with my little statement. So when the book started and she said she wanted her to be the ghostwriter, I was kind of going, oh, she agreed to that really, really quickly. I wasn't really sure what to think about that. But at the end, I was flat out crying when she put her name on the book cover. I was literally sobbing like, that she just made her dreams come true. I was so excited for her. So at the end of the book, I'm going, they are such a great pair, and how she said she was the child she never had. I'm going, oh my goodness, these two together are just pure magic. So now I need to read everything else in the series too.
Yeah. Well, I think I put on Twitter that once I read this book in a day, guys. Like, I read this book yesterday, like 100% from start to finish. It was that damn good. And I wrote on Twitter, I was like, Julia Buckley is now an insta buy for me. Like, the author, I don't know how her other series is, the Undercover Dish Mysteries that she has. I don't know how that is, so I can't say that like all of her books are 100% buy for me. But this series, hands down, I am going to be just annihilating in all of the reading of it.
See, I really got emotional when the name was on the cover. I'm glad someone else teared up too, to be like, yes, you cried too. But I'm like, camaraderie. When I ever read that part, I really did start crying. She invoked that in me. So, she made me laugh, she made me cry. I was going to say, that's good writing.
Well, and I also loved the fact that it wasn't like, to me, it wasn't necessarily 100% like a regular cozy. Like, I feel like it had more depth to it than other cozies that I've read. Whereas, what was the character's name? The little boy's name, was it Colin? How he was based off of the son that she miscarried. Like, normally cozies don't hit that deep of a emotion for me. Like they have before, but this one like had me tearing up. I had chills throughout the whole entire day. Like it was so good.
That's me, because she gives you that fangirl up. I've read all of her biographies. I know she doesn't have a child, so you know what's coming, and you're at the edge of your seat, like what's gonna happen. And then when she ever said she was writing her son, and then she was talking, and then she had that thought later of, oh well, if she'd actually had the son, maybe she shouldn't have been writing these books. I mean, the way that it was addressed was so well handled too. I think I appreciated that it wasn't just in there like a throwaway. It was very well written and included in the book itself. So I think that was also like why I appreciated that too.
Yeah. I felt like it was just I don't know, their relationship, like Lisa said, it really developed throughout the story. Like it wasn't just like Insta, you're my best friend, like all of this. It was she slowly started to open up to her, and then she started slowly opening up to Camilla about how she lost her mom, and it felt like a symbiotic relationship that they both needed each other for two vastly different things. It just, it was so good. It was so good.
I mean, I think that she handled it really well in regards to why that character got her the job, and then I think that the way that was handled, if you got the little tidbit of, oh, Colin's an important character, and then you got to find out why later. I think that was also something that was good in a narrative sense, in a writing sense. But I liked the fact that you knew that this was something important, but then you didn't know the why until later. So I thought that was just great writing.
Yeah, no, it was really good writing, and I love the fact that things from in the beginning of the book were starting to come back at the end of the book. Like when he talked about how, when Sam talked about how his ex-wife talked about sailing away, and how in the end, the way Julia found that his wife was alive was through putting in the yacht and sailboats and everything like that and seeing that there. I thought that was a really, really cool way to sort of end, like not end that mystery, but end is he going to go to prison for something that he didn't do kind of thing. I loved the fact that there was a mystery within a mystery.
We need to find out what's going on in Victoria West. Like, we need to find out what's going on here, because I was in this. That's why I think I need to keep reading. I need to find out, I loved it when, again, they formed their own little squad at the end. I thought that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're the writers. We're the most important of the group. We have the imagination. I thought that was great. I'm like, yes, we need to continue on with this mystery.
And I like it. Lisa said the missing wife lends to a mystery to the next book. Yeah, it makes you want to pick up the book, other than like that there's going to be another murder and mystery going on in that book, but it has that underlying, there's also more to the story than just what's the next murder in the town.
It reminded me of A Murder for the Books by Victoria Gilbert in that way too. Like there's an overarching question as well.
Yes, exactly. I love those. I love it when mystery writers or writers in general are able to make me want more. I really, really liked that. Yes, Nicole, I loved how Lena got the town to root for Sam. My heart is 100% Sam. I know that Lou said that she really, really liked Doug. And so I want to see who is Team Doug and who is Team Sam, because I am totally 120 million% Team Sam.
It was so funny when we met him. I wasn't really sure what the situation was, because there are those little tropes and archetypes where, oh, he's smoking. Is he the bad guy? There are those certain things where you're like, wait a second, this is what's associated with the villain. And so when he ever had breakfast with her, though, and I was like, this guy's not the villain. He just can't be. He's too adorable. And then he totally won me over. I'm going to tell you guys when I was Team Sam completely. He bought a waffle maker because he realized she likes waffles. And so he bought a brand new waffle maker just because, and was the only item on the receipt. And my heart just melted. I'm like, you win. You're not a villain. You're not a bad guy. I'm on your side.
Well, and I like the fact that he is flawed. That yes, he was smoking. Yes, he had this against him. Yes, but he still, like, when you learned more about his family and how his parents and sister were killed in that airplane crash, and he was still trying to make things better with life, I just, like, I got chills and everything. I kind of thought Doug was kind of douchey and kind of controlling, and I didn't really like Doug very much at all, actually.
When Doug ever had the catnip in his car, I was kind of going, what's going on here? I was curious, and I was going, does he have a cat at least? Why does he have catnip? I didn't mind him so much. It was just one of those, when her friend Allison had invited him, it was one of those, they kept pushing them together, but I thought this was a good writer moment of that she had to be forced to be with Doug, whereas she was naturally with Sam. There was kind of a natural, like, yeah, we're going to run into each other versus we're forced together.
And I guess I'm also one of those people that, like, I don't like being told what to do. And so, like, I could never be just set up on a date. It would probably automatically be like, no, I don't know why, but that's just me. Like, it's like the rebellion that I never did as a teenager comes out in my adulthood, and I'm just like, don't tell me how to live my life. No, I'm going to pick who I want to pick. I think that's mostly the issue.
I mean, I have to admit, I loved it at the very end. Again, spoilers, when he's released from prison, because eventually she's, they still might want to go after him for the murder, but they can't pin it on him because she's alive. So when she runs up to him and kisses him, he's got, I thought for a moment you liked the cop. I was going, oh, he was going to let her be. And the way he didn't want to bring her into his drama, and the way he was respectful to her, but still wanted to be with her. And he asked her to wait. I was just going, he won. I was like, I'm Team Sam.
Yep. And I don't know. I really liked, because, like, there are some stories that they have that love triangle, but it's done really badly. Like, you're just like, ugh, like, you have secondhand embarrassment for those characters and you feel really bad for them. In this one, I feel like it was written really well and naturally. Like, I feel like it didn't seem too forced, if that makes sense.
I mean, you could see what was going on in regards to Doug being a potential love interest, but she wasn't flip-flopping between the two. You could kind of tell the entire time where it was heading.
Yeah.
The ones where they flip-flop back and forth and you're going, just make up your mind, that's what always kills me. I'm like, there's like, well, you obviously like someone more than the other person.
Yeah, exactly. So what did you guys think about the murder mystery part of the cozy mystery, with there being a drug ring in the, under tunnel of the mansion and all of that stuff? Like, what did you guys think about that? Because I actually liked it. I loved the fact that there was, like, a hidden door, because, like, you always want there to be a cool hidden door in an old mansion like that, or an old building like that. I really, really thought that was cool.
It was so funny. I realized, so again, you guys know how I feel about Aurora Teagarden. I love Aurora. So there's one called the Julius House where there's a hidden room, and that's where the bodies are. And so whenever someone referenced the mansion itself and they wanted the tour, I actually kind of kept thinking of, like, the Julius House, the Aurora Teagarden, and I knew something was going on in this house. I didn't know what, but I knew something was involving the house. And I have to admit, I followed Adam. I knew he wasn't a bad guy. I knew he was the love interest. I knew Camilla, he had a crush. But when the other people would ask about the house, the tour, my little antenna was up. So I knew something was going on. I just didn't know it was the drug ring. That was not a first inclination.
They had me, like, going back and forth when it came to Adam, because his last name was Rayburn. And when she said Ray, when she heard Ray, I was like, oh, is that going to be Rayburn? But, like, I had automatically gotten the hint that he had a crush on Camilla. And so I was like, there has to be some other Ray. And I had no idea.
I thought she did the really good red herring when Ray Clay, where she's going, oh, maybe I misheard, and it was really Clay that I heard. And you kind of went with that red herring with the clues because you're thinking, yeah, maybe she did hear Clay instead of Ray. The long con. Yeah, I mean, that would have been interesting. Then another reason for her not to date him.
Yes, Nancy Drew is a badass. I 100% concur with that. She will totally take her flashlight and just go, regardless of her safety or anything like that. But I feel like our protagonist was also still smart. You know what I mean? Like she went out to figure out what the noise was, why the dogs were upset and everything, but she still called the cops to be like, hey, someone's sneaking around. Like she didn't 100% try and figure it out all by herself. You know, like she was still trying to figure out the mystery, but she wasn't doing it, you know, so recklessly that she could get harmed because of her, you know, lack of police information and things like that.
I mean, I think at the very end when both her and Camilla were both smart, and I love that. You got Camilla who wanted to get her out of the house, and she was running back to save Camilla. When she was running back to save her, she's like, she called the cops beforehand. She's going, oh, he's at the house. Let me call the cops as I'm running back versus running back forgetting to call the cops. Because so often they confront the murderer, and you're going, oh, of course you're confronting the person who killed multiple people by yourself without a weapon. Of course you're doing that.
Those dogs for protection was freaking awesome. I loved how all Camilla had to do was just say one word and those dogs immediately went and attacked Ray. And she's like, I could say one more word and they'll start biting. And I was like, damn, that was awesome. Like she was a total just my hero at that moment.
I thought that was great because even if Camilla sent Lena out of the house because she wanted to figure out, you know, she gave him the fake clue, but she wasn't just being there, you know, with no weapon. Like the dogs were her weapon. She knew she was protected. I thought that was kind of nice.
Yeah, calm, cool, and collected. I 100% agree. That was Camilla to a T. She is elegant. She is badass. And she is the grandma that, you know, everybody wishes they had. It was a lot more realistic. I agree, Stephanie. Like, I mean, nothing in the story felt too forced or too beyond the reach of being believable by the audience, you know, us reading it. At least I didn't think so. I thought that it was pretty well-rounded within the writing.
I mean, I will just say that this is the best job in the world to have a very lackadaisical boss. Yeah, of course, we can make a schedule and go explore the town as long as you do this. I don't care when. I mean, that was the only thing where I was going, can she be my boss?
Right? Whenever she got the contract and she's like, I make $5,000 a month after taxes. I was like I was speechless. I was like, damn, that's awesome. Like, look how cool she is.
I was like, not only she's making a good living, but she's also got the free room and board. She's also getting chef meals. I mean, the lady has a personal chef making her meals for her, which she doesn't have to pay for. And then she's working with her idol. I mean, it's one of those, it's just a perfect situation.
100% dream job. Yes. I could not agree more. Like, it just made me think, like, how cool would it be to be like a ghostwriter for like Ellie Alexander or, you know, one of my absolute favorite authors. And I mean, that would be so cool. That would be so cool.
Like her friend was only, you know, she moved closer to her best friend. She got away from the ex-boyfriend and the memories. She started fresh. Mm-hmm. It was just the perfect setup. I mean, and it was in the gorgeous setting. Yeah, she gets to live with her idol too.
Yeah. And be able to like see the ocean through one window and then beautiful greenery through another window. I'm like living for it 100%. That was just so good. And I cannot wait to pick up the next ones in the series and just see. And I love, did you guys notice in the front of the book, it had a whole entire list of best-selling books by Camilla Graham, all the way from 1972 through 2010, a 4-year hiatus, and then another book in 2015. I don't know. Camilla Graham isn't a real person, is it? I never looked it up.
No, she's not real.
She can't be real, right?
No, she's not. I just thought it was great. It reminded me of, I mean, again, I thought it was kind of nice that she felt like a real person. And I like that there was that bibliography. And I had to go, yeah, I read it I have the ebook and the paper copy. But what caught me was, I was so glad this book won, and I had kept it in my back pocket for, I want to say, like 4 or 5 months before I put it up for the poll after you guys voted for wanting something writer and reading related. And so I was so glad that this was the book that I chose, that you guys voted for it. But I honestly didn't realize that it was kind of newer, even saying it was 2015, because when I went to purchase this book on Amazon, it was the first copy they had was $40 or $50. I had to buy this through Barnes & Noble in regards to the first print run. For some reason, it was harder to get a copy of through Amazon. I mean, yes, you could get the ebook, but the paper copy was more difficult. So in the back of my mind, I thought it was an older book. And then she mentioned watching YouTube, and then they were, started referencing Photoshop. And I'm going, wait a second, hold up, when was this book published? And so I was really surprised, and I liked how, again, like coming back around, that Camilla was tech savvy. She's the one who did the Photoshop to figure out Victoria's face. So I love that this book was able to incorporate that in that way. So that's where I was going with that.
Well, I loved it. I loved the whole spiel. That was 100% perfect. I totally 100% agree with Nicole that if Julia Buckley could just like write as Camilla as a pen name and write all of those books, that would be amazing. Because I want to know, I mean, at least write the lost child. Like, at least write the first one. The one that has Colin in it and everything like that. Like, another thing that I loved was the fact that Camilla talked about how Colin was written out in multiple different books during different times in his life. Like, he was Colin, a 9-year-old boy in that one, but then he was another character in like his preteen years. And it's all about how she envisioned him to be if he would have been able to live. Like, I'm getting chills just talking about it. I loved it so much.
I know there was that, because there was a line when she said, if maybe she hadn't have miscarried, or if Colin had lived, she might not have written those books. And you had that moment of, she was able to take her grief and channel it into a productive, healthy way. She was able to create a character and not live vicariously, but give him life in a different format. And so I just thought that was a beautiful way of giving her that outlet and giving her that profession, because she's well known, she's famous, she was great in that way, and she was able to express her love for him in a different format. And I felt so badly for her when you found out about the miscarriage, and she's like, I couldn't have any son. It wasn't just that she couldn't have him, she just couldn't have anybody. And so the fact that she was able to have him, even if it was literary, she still had him in that way, which I just thought was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I get emotional talking about this.
No, and I get really emotional because I mean, a lot of you guys know I got diagnosed with endometriosis and Hashimoto's, which makes having a child really, really difficult. There's like a lot more things that I will have to do in order to have a little person. And so that hit me really, really hard when I was reading that, and like I was getting teary-eyed and I was feeling for her, because I haven't lost a child, but the idea that it's going to be harder for me in general is something that is really difficult. And so I really, really, really related to Camilla, and her whole entire presence, like her being was just so, I don't know. She seemed so real to me. Like I could go and hug her if I needed to hug her. Like I really, really loved how beautifully Camilla was written. And it makes me wonder, did Julia, one, who is Camilla based off of? And does Julia have those actual, those things happen to her, a miscarriage, or to someone close in her family? Because the way that it was written was in a way that it felt real.
I mean, it was handled in a way where she was this multidimensional character. And so when I looked up and saw Melanie's comment, yeah, she wasn't, I mean, she was grieving. She had that loss, but it wasn't her sole focus as a character. She was a human to me. She had the dimensions and depth. It wasn't oh, I had this one bad, like, I don't want to call it a bad experience. She had this one traumatic, awful thing happen to her and she never moved on. Like, yeah, she carried that with her. She was still living her life. She was still married. You know, she has this other guy coming into her life that has a crush on her. Like, she's still a human being coping with this. And so, but it wasn't like a one note moment where you have those mysteries that someone never overcomes, or someone's just stuck in like, I'm never leaving my house again for whatever reason, or they're just mean because they think
so fast that you're like,
yeah,
no. Like that you don't just get someone who's so close to you's death in like a month or two. Like, I really, really loved that. I also loved the fact that when they found out that Victoria West was still alive, how they hinted at, well, could she be, you know, being held against her will? Could she, like, it made me think of, if you've seen the movie Taken, where the women get taken and, you know, get forced on drugs and different things like that. That was also a darker note in this mystery that cozy mysteries don't necessarily have. Like, she didn't say it in all of those words, like she could be being used, you know, sexually against her will or anything like that. But it was enough of a hint that I was like, oh, I really need to know now. Like, I need to know what's going on with Victoria.
I mean, I thought it was interesting. I mean, this is just me and maybe the cozy mysteries that I've read, but even having the drug ring, I mean, having a drug ring be the thing itself as the mystery. Yes, usually murder is involved, but the drug element added something with the darker presence. And then it wasn't just the drug ring itself, but there was reference to drugs in regards to the blog post saying, you know, the drugs there. And then she referenced that same blog post again multiple times. So the reference to it was repeated more frequently in a cozy mystery than it would be normally. Maybe wow. Drugs would be a theory, but it usually wasn't the thing, as far as I know, most of the books that I've read.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I know that, like, we read cozy mysteries and yes, there's murder. There's always going to be a murder element to it. But, like, the way that it's written is more in a, you know, lighter sense. And it's not like so focused on it. It's focused on figuring out the whoddunit. Whereas this one, yes, is still figuring out the whodunit, but it's also showing the darker elements of humans' society and the way things are. And I really, really, really liked that about it. Sorry, I'm reading Nicole. It says, this read as a straight mystery to me, almost like suspense rather than a cozy, many darker elements. I agree, but that's also what the kind of books that Camilla wrote. Like, she talked about how it was, what did she say? Like a romance suspense? I'm pretty sure like that was what was quoted as the genre type, was romance suspense.
Well, even with the fresh blood in the apartment, because the whole thing with cozies is that the murder takes place off the page. And so saying, oh, we found fresh blood at the apartment and referencing the fresh blood on multiple occasions throughout the narrative, that to me was also darker. Usually there's evidence where they're not like, hey, the fresh blood that we found on the victim, except we're still looking for the body, but there's still fresh blood there. And I thought that was dark.
Which I didn't know romantic suspense was a genre. I didn't. Yeah. I have never, I don't know if I've ever read a romantic suspense.
Melinda Lee, she's great. I love her. Midnight Betrayal, she has a whole bunch of them. She's fabulous.
Check them out.
She's great. Melinda Lee, I'm going to type that in the comments.
Yes. She's awesome. Casey said, but it still had cozy setting and characters. 100%. Like, it was a cozy, but like, I don't know. It Like normally how we might read some books that are cozy light. This is like cozy dark. But I liked it. I liked it so much.
I mean, even then, from like the get-go, when he was smoking and I realized he wasn't the villain, I'm like, wait, he's still smoking. I mean, even that to me was different. Yes. So from chapter 1 and all, like, I mean, that was chapter 1 or 2. So from like that point on, I knew we weren't dealing with like the typical cozy.
Yeah. I really do hope that Victoria's mystery will be addressed too. Yeah.
That's a dark and stormy murder. Title is fitting.
Yes. Beautiful.
Sandra Brown. I was like, I should have known Nicole and her Sandra. I should have known that. Oh, here's I like, yeah. The fact is, Lena, there's nothing as exciting as a real mystery. I've always thought so. Like, I love that she's writing mysteries, but she loves mysteries too.
Mm-hmm.
Mysteries all around.
And I love that, you know, she's like, yeah, we have to finish this book and everything, but we also can't forget about Victoria. We also have to figure out what happened to her as well. And so it's like they're doing 2 different jobs at once.
I love that she formed her little posse at the end. I thought that made me so happy.
It was fantastic. They're like, Doug, you're the police aspect. Sam, you know her the best, but you know, me and Lena, like, we're the real ones that are going to be figuring out this stuff.
Because they're writers, and the writers owns the imagination. Like I highlighted that, I printed that off. That's going to be somewhere. I have to make that into like a visual quote of some sort for something. I don't know if I'm going to use that for something.
I 100% agree.
I know you. I know Nicole. I know her. I know her and Sandra thing.
Totally understandable. So what else do you guys want to talk about with the book? What else did you guys think? Is there anything else that you want to talk about when it comes to a dark and stormy murder? I know that I loved the quotes at the beginning of every chapter. That was one of my favorite elements of the book. I really, really enjoyed it.
Again, I got flashbacks to Rainbow Roll Rating Fangirl, where Carry On, you know, she had the snippets of what Kath, the main character, was writing at the beginning, and then she wrote Carry On as a subsequent book. So I'm going, please make this like a Rainbow Roll situation.
Right? Wouldn't that be amazing? I would love that so much.
I was like, if we all ask for it, we'll be like, we support you. Please do it. We'll buy your book.
We'll 100% buy your book. I promise.
We'll do a hashtag and buddy read and everything.
We'll do a GoFundMe. Oh, yes. I 100% thought that was the most stupidest part of the freaking book when she threw nuts at the police officers. I was like, listen, Lena. Not listen, Linda. Listen, Lena. Like, we can't be doing that. That could be assault. I mean, and not just in the nuts. Like, come on.
I mean, that's when you know she really cared about him. I mean, that was an irrational response, if ever there was.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, that was also the moment where he probably should have known that she cared about him more than the cop, too. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, I feel like her throwing those nuts was like, that was when like, the editor should have been like, let's not. Like, she can be mad at the cops, 100%, but let's not, you know, throw things at the police officers.
Yeah, I'm with you. Where I thought she might have ended up in the jail cell next to him.
Yeah. She got protected too.
I know, I kind of thought it was cute though when he messed back and forth after the nuts throwing incident that they texted and she was on his side. I still thought that was cute.
Mm-hmm. I really liked the fact that they texted back and forth and that he saw that she did care about him as a person. And
he would have had to get her out. Yes, he would have.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, we don't need you in jail for assaulting a police officer as well, Lena. Come on. I know
this expensive lawyer would be working double time.
Right? Oh, God.
Oh, that was also cute how he read the contract for her. I thought that was adorable.
Yeah. No, I really, really liked that. He was like, he had like little, everything. I was like, that's my kind of guy. Type A personality.
That's so cute. I just saw the comment by Lisa. I know. I loved how he like not only read the contract, he made little notes. He color coded them. Like, you really do like her, don't you?
So I know that I'm going to be buying the rest of this series. I think there's only 3 or 4 so far. I think, but they all looked amazing, and I can't wait to check them out and read all of them. It's going to be amazing. But did everybody go and vote for next month's Cozy Mystery? It did close I actually had to Google a countdown for 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to put the poll and right before the live stream. Like, I legit went down to the second.
Well, you have an official winner.
We do have an official winner.
Death by Dumpling.
Yes. So, like, I was looking on my TBR shelf, and all red spines were just like staring at me. And I was like, why don't I just do all red spines? Like, let's pick one of these. And so it was either Death Takes Priority or Moving is Murder, and then Death by Dumpling, which I have been trying and wanting to read for months since I got it. And she is on book 4 now. So it's,
you haven't read it yet? I thought you already read it.
No, I have not read it. Yeah. This came out in 2018. So this came out last year, and she is already, I think the 4th book comes out in August. And so I'm super excited. Super excited.
I thought you had already read that book. I thought you had already read it because I was talking with her before. I met her at Malice Domestic, and she was just such a sweetheart. If this book won, I might actually have something else to throw your way because I did get a little extra thing signed by her. So,
ooh, awesome.
Yeah, see, that's like, I think I read it a while ago. So I'm like, yeah, reread. Because I just remember I love the main character.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I watched all of your Malice Domestic vlog today, which I love. And then I was like, oh my goodness, next year I'm 100% going to Malice Domestic. Like, I texted Karen and I was like, listen, I'm going. And he's like, okay, start looking at plane tickets. I was like, okay. It's like forever and away from me here in Lolima.
You're like, hey, we're making it all the way to Japan. I can make it all the way to like DC area.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I had like the best time at Malice. I highly recommend it. And I liked that it was a smaller conference too, so I feel like you got to interact with a lot of the authors, and it wasn't like, there were long lines to get to somebody. There was a lot of interactivity, so I think you'll have a good time.
I really hope so. I'm super excited. So everybody go and make sure that you get Death by Dumpling by Vivian Chen and Noodle Shop Mystery Series. And we will be having the live stream over on Angela's channel on the last Wednesday of July. So that is, let me see, July 31st. So
go to book, like look up when is the last day of July.
July 31st. Aaron and I will be getting back from Japan on the 27th, and then we will be doing the live stream on the 30th.
I was gonna say, I hope like at least you have a book for the long plane ride.
Oh, it's a 12-hour plane ride, so I hope so.
Oh, Lisa's so sweet. You're so welcome. I'm glad you like them. And I do have one left. I still have one Cozy Mystery Pad and one Shy, another left. So we have one final up for grabs.
Nice.
So
I got that arc for Try Another Day. I got that, yeah, the publisher sent it to me and I was like,
she did a good job. It's really cute. In the middle, like it's really cute. Yes, Nicole, happy like early birthday. That's on the count.
Happy early birthday.
I love Trish. I was like, hi.
Oh, Trish is one of my favorite people in the whole entire world. I love her so much. I think we're about to wrap up this live stream. I think that we've all fully loved A Dark and Stormy Murder and are excited for Dumpling for next month. I think that, you know what, we're kicking butt and taking names when it comes to really good movies read the past few months.
I was gonna say, I mean, it was one of those things where I had put this book aside, and I'm so glad that you guys voted on it because I really did enjoy this one. I was so glad it won. And now again, like that book, I also know, like, I just remember I think I gave it like 4.5 stars. I'm like, yeah, we're just on a roll. We gotta keep this up.
Yeah, we do. Hopefully Death by Dumpling does not disappoint, but for so far, all the people have been loving it. So I'm really excited.
I was gonna say she kind of does that cozy mystery thing where like she plays with it a little bit, like the boundary pushing, and she does write for kind of almost like a younger cozy reader demographic in a sort of way. So I think you know, if you guys don't mind like something a little different, as we can tell, I think we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think that we're gonna be good. Make sure if you are not already subscribed to Angela, go and subscribe to her on her channel and on Instagram and on Twitter. She does amazing things on Twitter. Like, she is the Twitter goddess. I like really, really suck at it compared to her. She's just really, really good. So if you like to go watch movies and follow along, you need to go and check her out.
As I just like blush fiercely now, you're so sweet. And everyone needs to be following you on every platform.
But I think that we are good to say good night to everyone. So good night, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. It's so much fun talking with everyone.
Yes, have an amazing night, and we will see you next month for the live stream. But you can always interact with us on all of our other social media platforms. Good night, everyone.
Bye.